Okay, we are live, folks. Hang on, I'm getting my notes, which I just lost on the screen. Welcome to this Hangout, the Google Hangout with me, Elaine Marolakos Edelson, intuitive channel and astrologer and author of Minutes to Manifesting, How to See It, Get It, Keep It. We've got a fantastic training today that I know everyone will be able to relate to because we're making decisions around how we feel. And how we feel usually relates to acceptance and forgiveness on a lot of levels. And even if you don't think it does, it actually does. Acceptance, what does it mean for each sign? August 12th through the 23rd. That's what we're talking about today. So we're going to cover a lot of ground in the next 30 or so minutes. And you may want to grab some paper and a pen to take some notes. But before we start, I would love to know, I've got my chat box open, I'd love to know your name and what your sign is. So please do just let me know so I can say hello to all you Geminis or Librans or whoever else is on the call. Sometimes I'll meet somebody and we'll start talking and I'll find out their sign, and after a while, you know, weeks will go by and I'll say, oh, you know, I met a really nice Aries last week, but I'll forget their name. I know, that's just me. Okay, let me tell you how this training is going to work. Anytime during this Hangout that you have a question or a comment, or you want to let me know your sun sign or your rising sign, please post it below in this video, and I will do my best to get to all of the questions. Or if you just leave a comment, you know, leaving comments helps me to make these Google Hangouts more productive for you and more beneficial, so just let me know what you need, and I'm here to help. And if I don't get a chance to get to your actual question, I'm still checking the Google Hangout replay and all the comments and questions. So within 12 hours, I'll do my best, excuse me, to get to your question. Okay, so where are we? We are, the sun is in the sign of Leo. Venus, the planet that represents beauty, art, love, protection, finances, and real estate, is also in the sign of Leo, as well as Jupiter, the planet that represents expansion, abundance, benevolence, travel, philosophy, and publishing, of all things. So during this time, when planets are conjunct, that means they're within a few degrees and the energy intensifies. So during this time between and I'm looking up at my notes right now, the 12th through the 23rd, we are feeling expansion and benevolence as much as we are feeling the thing that we want the most, because we're in the sign of Leo, and that is a very dramatic, melodramatic sign that's very emotional. And why I chose this topic is because I know a lot of people, my clients, my friends and family, even myself and my daughter, have been in places of feeling stuck. And at any point in time in your life, you've experienced blame or resentment, apathy, and passivity. And so we're going to talk about how to get unstuck and how to get past resentment and how to start moving toward acceptance. And I'm going to show you a door to get out of this place astrologically, because it's a great time to do this between, and I'll just keep saying it to remind everyone, between August 12th, which started 2 days ago, all the way through the 23rd. Now, you're going to want to stick around to the end of this Google Hangout, because in the third key element, I'm naming 3 key elements of this particular conjunction. And the third key element, I'm going to cover what Jupiter in Leo conjunct Venus in Leo means to your individual sign. So you want to stick around for that. All right, so the first major element of Venus conjunct Jupiter deals with, number 1, big opportunities coming your way. So what are they? You know, a lot of times people will say, I don't feel ready, or this is not the time, that, you know, I need to practice more, I need to earn more money, I need to have more education, and they don't feel ready, and the fear comes up. But I want to give you an example in a minute. But when Venus is conjunct Jupiter in Leo, that a lot of times a woman, or a very strong presence, just picture the sunlight coming up into a dark room and putting light in the area. So Venus represents femininity, so it can be a very strong, proactive woman or a very sensitive man comes into the picture to help you to take full advantage of this time with an opportunity. So you need to put yourself out there and go for the things that speak to your heart, because Leo is a heart sign and a spine, and also relates to the spine. So when, you know, opportunity comes because you're creating it, and sometimes people don't understand that. They think, oh, it just happened, it fell out of the sky, or, you know, by chance, chance it came to me. You know, when you put yourself out there with a positive intention, and you use your persona, which is very magnetic during this time frame, as a neon, it's like a neon business card, right? Or a big billboard. Stand out in the crowd. Don't be afraid. Let me reverse that sentence. Usually, psychologically, when you say the word "don't," that's when kids start touching the stuff they're not supposed to. So I'm going to switch that around a bit. So be really centered in your talent, and if you're wanting recognition, now is the time. I want to give an example of a client who's also a dear friend, Andy, who is an actor, and I was talking to him yesterday, and I asked him how he was doing, and he said, he came up against this feeling in him where he was afraid to take a risk, and his manager and agent said to him, headshots are becoming kind of passé. Yeah, people look at them, they look at the headshot, they turn it over, they read your bio, but they want to see some action. And he's done other things before, but he didn't have a reel sent out. So his agent recommended that he make a video and just stand in front of the camera and do something and talk about himself and just be himself. And he was really uncomfortable doing that. He said to me on the phone yesterday, I thought that if I did that, they would definitely turn me down. And so his girlfriend, also an actress, was very supportive, and this is the feminine part of the program, and said to him, look, this is what you want to do. So put yourself in a place where people can see you and really, truly see you. So he made this video of himself, sent it out to the agent. Agent sent it out to this audition. It was like an online audition. And then he got a phone call. And then they flew him out to New York. He's from LA. They flew him out to New York, and he went to do a table read, which is when you're sitting at a long table. He said it was like the Last Supper for him. He was that nervous. And he got the part, and the part is on Tina Fey's new show on NBC. So, and he kept saying how surreal it felt. So you need to take a risk. You may not think, and this is what he said to me, I really don't think I'm ready for this. Even though they hired me, I still don't think I'm ready. And I said, you know what? You're ready because the opportunity presented itself to you. So if you don't think you're ready, it's because of inexperience or some fear that, some mind chatter that's in the back of your head or in your body saying that you're not good enough. And Leo is famous for, on the downside, saying, I'm not enough. So when you're presented with an opportunity during this time frame, August 12th through the 23rd, you want to ask yourself, well, where don't I feel enough? And it's coming to me, obviously, I must have done something. So here it is. I'm going to take that initiative, walk through the door, and I'm going to really put myself out there and come what may. Because this is your life. This is what you're doing. This is your talent. This is, no matter what it is, you don't have to be an actor or an actress, but this is your joy, and you want to focus on that so that you can increase and really expand and then broaden your horizons. All right, now the second major element of Venus conjunct Jupiter and Leo is how to instantly release resentment and hurt. Now, I'm going to take a little bit more time on this one because it's like saying, you want to become a millionaire? Just first you get $1 million, and people are like, wait a second, what did I just miss? How do you let go? How do you let it go? Okay. Grab your pen and pencil and then put it down and close your eyes because I want you to really feel this. I want you to feel this in your body. And acceptance does not mean settling for. Acceptance means to be present, to know who you are in this moment and how you're feeling. And And to understand that because you are a sentient being, because you are energetic, you have the ability to think a thought, to feel a feeling, and form follows thought. So acceptance means that you're in this place right now, but as you focus on the thing that you love or desire or would like to do or be, that's where you're headed. Now, if you get stuck along the way, that's because of your individual fears or your inexperience, and there's no judgment there. Now, if you've been wronged in a situation, or if you feel that you have wronged someone else, so whether you feel like the victim and you don't know where your power is, you need to create a boundary, and that's what this time frame is about. Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, Venus, planet of protection. I'm really going to be protected now from all harm, so I'm going to jump off the building." It's like, well, okay. What we're talking about is, remember, the planets don't make you do anything. So what's going to come to your attention is where the hurt is, where the resentment is, where the blame is for any situation that is ready to be healed. And sometimes we don't choose that. It's our whole psyche, it's our whole body that's ready to open during this time, especially if you're a Leo sun, rising, or moon. And you'll have solar flares. I call them that because I have a Leo moon, and I know suddenly someone will reject something that I'm doing or contradict me, and I'll just, like this feeling happens in me, like this big solar flare, and then I stop and say, oh, of course, they have a different point of view, and I'm not taking it personally. So you need to find out where you feel powerless in the situation, understand your role in this particular situation, and start to move toward forgiveness with a healthy boundary intact. So if you feel that you have wronged someone else, first of all, that's the hardest one to get through it. The Leo energy is ego-based, and that's not a good or bad thing. It just means that the ego puts up a lot of defense when it thinks it's been wrong or when it thinks it has wronged someone else, and it's hard to own it. It's hard to say, oh, I'm so sorry I stepped on your toes. Is there something I can do, because we feel so bad. You just feel so bad, and you don't want to be wrong. You just don't want to, right? Who does? So you need to give yourself permission. That's what this time frame is really about. In understanding and accepting the moment that is, give yourself permission to feel the moment, to understand the situation between yourself and another person. Now, here's the bigger picture and part of the program. If you're cool and no one's hurt you and you're not stepping on anybody's toes, you want to ask yourself, where are you struggling? Where's the struggle in your world right now? Is it with finances? Is it with your body, with health, with a romance, with career choices? Is it with creative choices? Is it with your kids? So get really clear on where you feel stuck or where you're struggling, because acceptance in that situation is going to be really huge now, and it's going to be like, I'll use myself as an example. The moment I hit menopause 2 years ago, full menopause, I'm 54 now. So when I was 52, it hit me, and there it was. And then on top of that, hypothyroidism and adrenal fatigue. Who knew? I thought I had all the energy in the world, but apparently my body wanted to slow down. And even though my husband moves at even faster lightning speed, my speed was too fast for me. But I kept, it's like, I got to do this. I got to write books. I raised the girl. I got to do this. And I just kept going, and I never gave myself a break. So in the past 2 years, I gained so much weight for me, for my body, for my frame, which is pretty small. 35 pounds is a lot. So I would go up and down with diets, eating healthy, trying, juice fasting, and everything that's out there I have tried. I am the queen of the diet, and HCG and liver cleanses and exercise and combining proteins and interval. I could write a book, okay, but I'm not. I'm writing other books, historical fiction. That's where I'm putting my Jupiter and Leo energies to work. But anyway, I couldn't see that every time I look in the mirror, I would say something awful to myself because I felt so bad that it wasn't working. And I thought, if I were fixing a leak in the sink, I'd open a book, I would, read something and go, okay, step one, follow through and do the next thing and do the next thing and do the next thing. But still, the faucet's been leaking. And I'm wondering, where did I go wrong? What have I done wrong? Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I haven't researched enough. And so at some point where dedication to a cause or attaining a goal becomes an obsession, that's when you have to accept where you are and let it go. Okay, now whether you've been hurt, whether you've hurt someone else, whether you're constantly hurting yourself because you think you're not getting it right in whatever situation, letting it go is, it's that, how do you do that? How do you let it go? Well, I want you to imagine that you're having a conversation with yourself. If you're that in that category where you're cool with the world, but you're arguing with yourself, or you feel stuck with a situation, you can't make more money, or you've plateaued with your health or your family or your relationship, look at where you are in this moment right now and ask yourself what the conversation is, and turn it around. I have an exercise that I do for my members. It's called the boardroom, and I'm gonna encapsulate that and make it really small. Imagine yourself sitting across the table from this voice in you that sounds like a victim, or is constantly criticizing you or making you feel like you're not enough. Sit across the table from them and have close your eyes, get really calm, comfortable, and ask this person who is another faction. Another part of yourself, really. So it's in your psyche, and it's like a fragment of you, and it's the part of you that just is so resistant to forgiveness and self-love that it won't allow acceptance. So you want to talk to this person and say, look, I'm doing all I can. What is your complaint? And let's, have a conversation around that. And the more you do that, you're going to feel so much better about yourself and how it's not your fault if you can't get it right. So then where do you go from there? You go to a place of feeling calmer, number one. We always want to go from, if you're in a negative place, you want to go from negative to neutral to positive. I just framed myself. I'm framing my goal. Okay, so when you have that conversation with yourself, or when you set healthy boundaries, what you do is you go to that place in the present that helps you to feel free, calm, liberated, unshackled to that inner victim's voice, because you want to find that happy place. Find a happy place, find a happy place. But don't force it. You don't want to force it. So the next time you're looking to reframe that voice, you need to get quiet and find out where the emotions are extreme, and write them down if you want to. That also helps to get stuff out. It's a little warm in here, so I'm kind of sweating. So when you remember that form follows thought, you have a goal, you want to get there, but you've been working so hard and it's not happening. Accepting the moment as is doesn't mean you're giving up on the goal. It does not. I'm the first one to tell you, you're working so hard. Now just get calm and just find a little bit more inner peace. And the more you do that, the more you keep moving your thoughts toward that inner peace and that place of calmness and forgiveness and love in the moment. Like, okay, so I'm 30 extra pounds. I'm still eating well. I'm still exercising. I'm finding that I shift more and alter my thoughts more now on the things that make me happy. So you want to find one thing that makes you happy and start moving your thoughts from wanting to choosing. Okay, and I'm briefly going to explain this before we move on to number 3. If you're just joining us on the Google Hangout, we're covering the Venus conjunct Jupiter in Leo and what it means to you. So the first one is accepting the opportunities that come your way and not push them away because of fear. And the second is what we're talking now is how to let go of hurt and resentment and that negative voice in your head. So now let me get back to it. Wanting versus choosing. It's very simple. I want you to just close your eyes right now. We're going to do this little exercise to get you right into the feeling. Close your eyes and I want you to imagine that there's a goal in front of you. You really want this thing. You want it, you want it, you want it. You walk into a room and it's an empty room. The room is empty. So now someone comes up to you and says, yes, can I take your order? Someone from the universe says, can I take your order? And you say, yes. I wanted this, I wanted that, I wanted the other thing, and I want it to be big, and I need more money, and I want this, and I want that, and I'm working real hard. And they say, okay, it's going to take a little bit of time. There's a lot on the list, and you know, we're going to have to take some time to fulfill this order. Okay, that's that. Now I want you to walk out of that room and walk into another room where everything that you could possibly want is already in front of you. And now all you have to do is simply choose it. Choose it in your mind. Say, I choose that shape. I choose that career. I choose that healthy relationship. And as you choose it, isn't it easier? Don't you feel that it's easier to choose something instead of wanting it? So as you choose it, you accept that right now I may not have all that money in the bank, I may not have that relationship, but I am working toward it. And as you move toward it with joy, and remember your neutral to positive focus, you're going to see it come to you that much quicker because you've already chosen it. It already exists. Wanting means psychologically somewhere in you, you think you can't have it, you don't have it, or it doesn't exist because you're wanting it, and if you had it, you wouldn't want it anymore. So think about that. Choose what you'd like to have instead of wanting it, and then start accepting where you are. All right, I'm just going to take another sip because it's kind of dry here. In Arizona. And remember, folks, if you have a question or comment, write down below, and if I don't get to you after this particular call, I'm still online the next 12 hours, and I'm there to help you answer some questions. Okay, number 3 element of Venus conjunct Jupiter and Leo, and what it means for each sign in the zodiac. That means you. So, but oh wait, before we do that, I just want to again go over very quickly, just so you can take notes on if you're having trouble letting go, releasing hurt, the wound, accepting that someone has wronged you. You know, forgiveness is not an easy thing. I know people who have been in car accidents and, you know, just want to hang on to the you know, they did this to me and I am a victim, and, you know, because they had a life and then something changed drastically. And that's a very tough place to be. So if you're feeling something really big like that, or you're having a really tough time being forgiven for something you've done, I want you to start forgiving yourself, because acceptance starts in the moment you start allowing yourself to be present. That's the present is the cure-all for everything. So just come to the present moment as often as possible. Check in with how you're feeling. And remember, August 12th through the 23rd is a really great time to start forgiving yourself and others for whatever the situation is, and have that table discussion. And you're going to see a lot of changes happen, and more opportunities will come to you because of it. All right, so let's get to each of the signs. And where are we? Okay, Libra. Libra rising sign. I'm going to be talking to each of your sun and rising signs very quickly. A sun sign is the day you were born and where the sun's position was on that day. The rising sign is made from a calculation of your location at birth and your exact time of birth. And the rising sign represents how the world interacts with you. It's what everybody wants to know about in astrology. Where the sun sign is the theme, the rising sign is everyday stuff. Love, romance, health, relationships, money, you know, all opportunities. So Libra, sun sign, Libra rising sign, listen up. And I have some notes here so I don't forget. Okay. Venus is your actual celestial guide. So woohoo. So when Venus does anything, you feel it. And Venus in Leo for you means to, you need to start taking the reins in a group situation and put your dreams and hopes into the hands of others now, and start collaborating more to help you shape your future and your future project. I just want you to be really careful of very defensive people, or of you becoming defensive, because people want to just, you know, sweep you away into this big project or this big thing. And it can be a friend, it can be a business associate. So you need to get really clear with your boundaries and that sector of the populace who have big energy. They could be big Leo people who just, you know, want to direct you. And you may not want to be directed. So there's going to have to be a collaboration. All right, Capricorn rising. Some really big changes with your relationship to money and joint resources, including sex and sensuality. So things can be getting better now, more expansive. And if you've been healing anything on that level, if you've ever been abused, this is a really wonderful time to get into counseling so that you can really start that acceptance phase. But for everyone else who's feeling healthy, Capricorn, Capricorn rising, as you pay for services in education or entertainment or to increase your visibility, you're going to see some very quick sweeping changes in how you feel around money, your relationship to money, and the kind of money that comes your way, and also around the work that you're doing. So some of you are going to start a fan base. Ooh, very fun. Okay, Gemini, Gemini rising. There's a lot going on around workshops, learning, editing, writing, redoing your resume to start work, start up work again if you've been out of the workforce, using past talents to learn anything dealing with law or children's issues, finances, food, entertainment, everything that I talked about up top about what these planets represent. But mostly, this is your way to really delve deep into your psyche and how you communicate around the wound. So you must name the wound, and maybe it's you've not owned up to the truth. Maybe it's you are going through a divorce, or maybe you feel like you've wasted time. So wherever you think you're not enough in your inner communication, where you've been hurt or hurt someone else, this is a really good time to get to a counselor or an energy worker to move that stuff out of your body and start seeking forgiveness from self and others. Okay, Aries, Aries rising sign. This is a hugely creative time for you, and if you're wanting a baby now, well, okay. I used to say to people, buckle up for safety, but no, don't buckle up. Just go have some fun because here comes the baby. Or if your children are grown, maybe there's a grandbaby on the way. That's a fun thing. Or it can be more about your kids, your own kids' remarkable achievements right now. But moreover, the bigger issue is a healing time with romance. Now, I know a lot of Aries and Aries rising signs have been going through a grieving phase. I have one client whose ex-husband, who she was very close to, passed away, and she's still grieving that. And another Aries, an Aries rising sign, who just got divorced this week. So, whatever your relationship is or not, whether you have someone in your life or you don't, now is the time to get really clear on what you choose to have. What do you choose to have from this moment on? Accept, forgive, and let's start moving on, and really allow yourself to play right now. If that means getting a massage, go do that. Or just lying down and chewing gum and watching a movie, go do that. Just find time to play. Okay, Virgo rising. We're going to tie in children a lot to you right now. It keeps coming up strongly for you about finding a solution to an illness, whether it's your own, from your own childhood or your own children, or perhaps it's about understanding the psychology of raising a child or the reason behind not being able to have a child, but kids keep coming up in the picture. And I do have a Virgo client who has a son who's just diagnosed with diabetes. And so I know that how this applies to her, she's looking for really big medical, expansive ways to help him eat and to take care of his illness. Now, the focus is definitely about reconnecting with a childlike part of you. You need to get in there. And whatever tantrum you might have had as a child, now it's going to be surfacing a little bit about what isn't enough in your world. So once you get in there, solutions are going to open up immediately for you. So this is a great time for healing. And let's see, who's next? I'm going to take a sip of water as I plow through these signs. I know I go fast. Okay, Sagittarius, Sag rising sign, contracts, publishing, education, travel, and really using your magnetism now as the best business card or what will help you advance in career or with your own changing philosophy. Now, I know Sagittarius sun sign and rising signs who are either atheists or they're the opposite side of the spectrum, and they chant, they're Buddhists, or they're very religious, or they're very spiritual people, So whatever side you're on, it's about your own philosophy based on your career and what you think is true. And what's been holding you back? Let's accept the fact that if you have a me versus them attitude, it's going to really perpetuate the wound that you're not being heard or passed over for a promotion. But so we don't want sour grapes here. What we want to focus on is, what is your message? Let's stay clear on that, on your beautiful message, what you believe, and how you can educate, empower, or entertain someone else in the world. And once you stay focused on that, the doors will open much more easily. Okay, who's next? Aquarius. Aquarius rising sign. This, Leo is your polar opposite. But a lot of times when I have two clients. One is an Aquarian and one is a Leo, and they are so opposite. They're exactly alike. I think you know what I'm talking about. So with so much Leo going on in your chart, it has to do with, number one, if you're married or your significant other, and that's your status. What's going on there? Is it time for a second honeymoon? Is it time for a first honeymoon? Is it time to renegotiate how you two interact? Instead of escalating some old hurt emotions, let's start hearing each other. Let's come from each other's point of view so that you can really increase your mutual goals and your gratitudes for each other, because that always feels good. And this applies also to business partners. And there could be some people who are wanting to court you now for your talents and want to be part of your ever-expanding world. How exciting. Cancer rising sign. This is a money time for you. And I know you're jumping up and down going, yay, I love money. I love finances. Well, here comes a client or a benefactor or a possible huge resource so that you can broaden your income and your experience so that you can move to that next level of your talents. So I want you to really concentrate right now on what you'd like to have in positive present tense language and stop going backwards like, oh, I have a client who attracts a lot of Godzilla kind of people, and she's a Cancer, Libra rising, and I said to her, the boundaries, and she's very, she likes to smooth things over, and let's talk about it, and of course I can do that for you, and it wasn't in the package, but all right, I'll do that for the same amount of money. Stop giving it away, but at the same time, concentrate on something positive. Like, you can give it away. You're very generous, but now it's not about the money. It's about honoring your value. What is your value? Because if you honor more of your value and accept that as being in the fold, as being part of the group, that you already have the expertise, you're going to attract to you right now that choice opportunity that's going to show up. So I'm excited for you, especially for my husband. I just did a reading for my husband. He's going to have to tell me later what it means to him. Okay. Taurus rising sign. Your home life is your sanctuary. Don't I know it? I'm a Taurus. Our daughter's a Taurus. My husband's a Taurus rising sign. Oh my gosh, we live together. We live at home, we work at home. My daughter once asked to be a homeschooled, and I was like, no. Get out of the house, make a friend. So she did. So your home life is your sanctuary. So you might want to buy, redecorate, sell, set up a home office if you don't have one. But the bigger, and deeper aspect really is the connection to your identity. Who are you right now? What's your superpower? What is your superpower? What do you want to be able to do? I'm writing books, expansion, publishing. That's all in line with what I'm doing, and it's about understanding right now, Taurus, that through meditation or any kind of energy work, you can get to that acceptance, to really allow yourself to be seen. Like, sometimes you're the best kept secret of the neighborhood. So, but when you do this and really get in there, career doors are going to fly open. I guarantee it. All right. Who's next? Oh my gosh. All right, somebody get the big spotlight out. Here comes Leo rising. Honey, it's all about you, okay? Does that make you happy? Are you happy now? Leo sun, Leo rising, Leo moon. First of all, you need to watch overindulgences. Please, I almost tripped over that word because I can see you just like partying and having a great time, and I'm having so much fun, and life is so great, and I'm so happy, and you stay up extra hours when we got to watch that. Be really careful. You don't want to pack on any unnecessary pounds or go to extremes with your emotions. And do be mindful of your heart and spine if you're working out. Okay, once you give yourself some sweet love every day in those areas, you're going to glow even more and become an instant magnet for all that you desire. So I want you to get clear. Write it down. If you don't know what your specific intentions are, remember, form follows thought. So that's for you to plant seeds for a future harvest. So there's a big light shining on you right now. I want you to enjoy the limelight. And if you're having any kind of physical issues, now is when the facilitator, the doctor, the holistic person, some kind of solution shows up for you. So that's a great thing. Okay, we just have a few more. Thanks for sticking around. And then, remember, if you've got comments or questions, please leave them below, and I'll get to them as quickly as I can, and then also in the next 12 hours. Scorpio rising sign. I want you to take I wish I had a magnifying glass. I want you to take a magnifying glass and get really close up and personal with your next direction in life. It's like sit back and assess what's going on, whether it's forced retirement or whether you're just getting into the workforce. You're about to leave a very tense time with Saturn, which is like the stop sign in life, is leaving your sign in December, and you're going to jump for joy. You're going to feel like, oh my gosh, you're ready to party. So, but before December comes, I want you to use this time frame to really scrutinize what works and what doesn't work in career for you, and where you might want to be in the next 18 months. You might be ready to retire, like I said, or maybe you're given more responsibilities. But how ironic. Promotions are in order, at least a ribbon for your spectacular service. And I was telling a client of mine who literally at one point in time had something to do with the restructuring of the financial situation of Korea, who is a Scorpio rising sign, and I said, and who is retiring now, and I said, yeah, it's not over. You're not done. So think about what book you want to write, what company you want to consult with, or where you will speak, or maybe it's time for education. And he said that he's definitely working on being guest speakers in different colleges around the country for business. So, you're always going to have something wonderful to share. Okay, Pisces, and I think that's our last sign of the day before we get to the question. So Pisces rising sign. Okay, this is going to be exciting for half of you because the other half don't want to be involved in politics at all. But it's going to be, when I say, everything is political, how you negotiate with your kids or how you negotiate at work. So political aims, volunteer work, the work that you do for pay, your health, and your target audience are all the topics right now between the 12th and the 23rd. So I want you to be really clear on your demographic. Who is your audience? So once you're clear, you won't waste time. Your clients are not everyone. It's just not going to work that way. So if you understand marketing, if you understand marketing, you need to really focus on your demographic. Now, if you're not working, it's important that you get involved in a volunteer group so that you still feel like you have something to contribute. This is all about contribution, because the more we contribute, the more we can start accepting our own place in the world and how we can help each other by helping ourselves and other people, right? It all comes full circle. So if you don't like what you're doing, if you are working and you don't like what you're doing, or if you're bored because you're retired, you're going to be redirected in a hurry in the next couple of weeks. So don't freak out if suddenly your income is cut, because you're going to see an open door elsewhere. And I want you to realize that the more you speak up now about who you are and advertise yourself is going to be really to your advantage. Remember, use your own magnetism as the personal calling card. Also, I want you to watch your sugar craving, because with Jupiter in your 6th house, you could pack on the pounds really fast. And as I said, put yourself out there, and the right doors at the right time will open. I want you to trust that. Okay, was that like a whirlwind or what? I don't know. Great content. That was fantastic for me. I hope that was good for you. So we covered a lot of territory, and I hope you took notes. And you can always listen to the replay. And if you like what you heard today, There's much more of that because I could go on and on and on. There's a really fantastic resource that I want to share with you. It's my exclusive Astrology Channel ETC Platinum membership. And every month you get in-depth audios. We call them Astro Blasts. They're audio forecasts for your sun and rising sign to help you navigate the world, and the members really like that. You get a spot-on content and life-changing information to guide you in your decision-making process. There's a whole lot of stuff on the site. You know, I do have to say a little disclaimer that my forecasts are kind of like this, but I've toned down here because I'm live. But my forecast, you know, it's not the typical magazine, you know, or party kind of predictions. I like to go deep so that we can cut through the bull and you can get unstuck so that you can have wealth, health, passion, and purpose. Why else are you here, right? So the monthly written audio forecasts as well help you to maximize your circumstances and to look for hidden opportunities, and you want to see what's coming your way. I always like to plan ahead. I knew an astrologer who once said to me, it's always good to plan it, like planet. That was cute. So Platinum members, you also get to spend time with me on a live, members-only Cosmic Clues Hangout. I did one this morning, actually. So this is a definite place to be, to really hone your life, your world, and, you know, as a special bonus on the Cosmic Clues, you could be one of the people who gets put in the hot seats. I also talk about eclipses and updates on retrogrades, aside from Mercury. So with Platinum Access, there's the Fabulous Focus videos to help you get laser focused. There's Dynamic Decisions videos. What else? There's so much. My mission really is to empower, to enlighten, to educate, and entertain so that you really love who you are and why you're here, and that's the whole point. Okay, so to get started is to just click the green button, the membership button below, to become a member. And I'm just going to move my notes aside. And all right, I'm ready to take some questions if anybody has a question. Also, bear with me because there is a 30 to 40 second delay on these Hangouts, and I will need to put my glasses on. So if you've got a question, it might take a second or two to get to me. Okay, here's a question. This forgiving oneself, how long does this take to be okay with whomever or whatever? Is it something you should be doing daily, similar to an affirmation? Yes, you can definitely do this as an affirmation. And how long does it take? Well, that depends on you. You know, we are creatures of habit, and we don't like to let go of things, really, unless it's already in our nature to just not have stuff and, you know, live out of people's basements or on somebody's couch. When you don't have possessions, you're pretty much someone who doesn't hang on to stuff. But for the rest of the world, we don't like to let go. We just don't like to let go. So it happens when it's timely for you, and it can happen a little at a time. What I look at in astrology are places where we can fast track these things. So between the 12th and the 23rd, you can really get in and get out in a really big way with acceptance and forgiveness. So if you have someone in your world right now that you are needing to forgive or to accept, or a situation that is you're just having a hard time wrapping your head around, why would this happen? Why would this person do this thing? I want you to seek out ways through counseling, through meditation. Find a technique during this time frame because the doors are really open for the healing process to take place. So yes, make your affirmations, but aside from making the affirmations, which you can say, you know, I'm happy, 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 but if you're chain smoking and eating potato chips all day, you know, what are your actions telling you versus what your words are telling you? I put up a video the other day, or actually Frank did for me. Frank and Melody are helping me out with these Google Hangouts. Thank you, Frank and Melody, and Dean as well. And I put up a video on the words that we use. So you want to be really aware of the words that we use in affirmations and be present. So you can say, I choose to release this anger or this hurt or this blame. I choose to let it go. It doesn't mean it's going to go like that. It means this is your choice. Remember, wanting versus choosing. So don't want to let it go. Choose it. And the more you choose it, the more relaxed you get about it. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, you know, I'm starting to understand, even though I may not understand them, I understand that it's a process and I need to be okay with it. So I'm right now in this moment, I feel better about it. So as you move incrementally toward the goal, it becomes easier to let go. It really does. I was teaching our daughter, Aaliyah, something the other day. She was having a really tough time hanging on to something. And I said, Aaliyah, the more you focus on loving who you are, the more you will allow yourself to understand other people, because they're not like you. And if somebody has hurt your feelings, or if you feel guilty about something, it's really going to take some time. And she's 15, right? I'm 54. And I said, Aaliyah, when I was your age, I was out of my mind. I had nobody to talk to. I had no realization about any of this stuff. I knew there was a better way. I just didn't know how. And so you take your time with it, but the more you love yourself, and so she does that, you know. She has a really bad day, and she'll turn around and go, okay, I feel really good right now, and I'm just going to work on that. I'm going to take that a little further. I'm going to go draw a picture. I'm going to go be happy with my friends, and I'm going to hope that it expands because I'm focused on it. Wow. You go, girl. Okay, thank you for that question. Here's another question. I'm feeling stuck in a job I don't like. Are you saying this is a good time to make a change or quit? Well, I'm not telling you to do anything. What I am requesting of you is that you think about why you're in this job, and why you don't like it. And if if you're in a place where you've done all you can possibly do, you've acquired as much knowledge, you've given as much as you can possibly give in your job, and you're just done with it, start looking. This is an opportune time to look for another opening. Put it out there. Put yourself out there. Make your needs known. Exactly what I'm saying. Am I telling you to quit your job this week? No. You want to be prudent about it, definitely. And also to look at if you're letting the universe, remember, you're creating your reality. So if you let the universe know that you're ready to move on, it's going to show you, and it's going to echo back to you what it is you are choosing, because it already exists. If you want another job, yep, you want another job. So be specific about the kind of work that you want. Don't write down what you don't want. Make a list of things that you would like to choose, not so much want, that you choose to have, and the environment, so that you can start to move toward it a little at a time. And then, of course, be practical. Make phone calls, talk to people, let them know your desires and what you're looking to do, and you're going to see results a lot faster. So thank you for that question. I hope that helps. Okay, so thank you everyone for being on the call, and remember, if you have more questions, just leave them below and I'll get back to them in the next 12 hours or so. Thank you so much for being on this call. I look forward to these Google Hangouts, and I'm going to do a lot more of them. And I wish you peace. Be well, and we'll see each other again.